Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to talk about that there Sanguinius model, the latest in the line of Primarchs available from Forge World. And this one is going to be a little bit special by the look of it, because there is the model, like is what you can see in front of you right now, and there is also going to be one with a fancy base. I'm assuming something to do with killing a giant bloodthirster. That seems my most likely candidate for that. Hopefully, otherwise it might be a little bit boring. And to be honest, most of the reaction I've seen to this has been pretty positive. There's been some very, very excited people, happy. I'm not one of them, to be honest. This is not doing it for me at all in certain ways, which is a shame because some of it looks great. I will say right now that I think the detail on the armour, absolutely spot on. Really like it. It's reminding me of how impressed I was with Alfarius, to be honest. The detail is that good, it's that nice. The upper half of the model, for the most part, I really like. Again, detail is spot on. The paint job on it is really nice. Obviously, you won't get that necessarily with the model. You have to do that bit yourself. But overall, it's a very, very faithful depiction of Sanguinius that matches like most of the artwork that we've seen. And there are some really nice touches on there. But there is a couple of issues that I've got with this that I'm really hoping, well, the first one I'm hoping can be solved with a different picture, or with a 360 degree view, if we happen to have some method of doing that when this goes on the Forge World site, which might hopefully alleviate this particular problem. I cannot stand the lower half pose on this model at all. The upper half is full of action and purpose. You know, this is a dynamically posed model. He is doing a plunging attack into something. The placement of the left hand, the way the sword is raised in the right, the eye line of the model, I really like those. It's nice and consistent at the top. The bottom, I don't know whether it's just the angle from which it's been photographed, looks awkward as hell. It doesn't look like he's plunging down. It looks like he's falling down. There's a significant difference. A controlled fall is one thing, an accidental fall is another thing, and the pose on those legs combined with the positioning of that rock, frankly, it looks like he's about to fall on a bit of stone and crush his gentleman's area, which is absolutely not what I want to see from Sanguinius of all Primarchs. Like, the dude should be like grace personified, and it looks clunky. The bottom half of that model looks really clunky, and I'm really hoping that it is just the angle that they've used for this photograph, because it does not look great to me. The top half looks like the kind of fluid, dynamic posing that they are capable of doing now. The bottom half looks like the fluid, dynamic posing that they were trying to do when they made the Khorne Berserkers way back when. It doesn't match. You know, the top is full of purpose, and the bottom is, oh dear, I seem to have slipped. I don't like that. I think it needs to be more consistent. As I say, it could just be the angle of the photo. I'm kind of hoping that it is, because the actual detail, again, on the legs is really nice. The armour is really nicely done. There's some really nice detailed touches in there. I mean, the way that the tabard? I can't remember what it's called, the bit that goes between his legs, the purple cloth, that's been done really nicely. It looks really good. It's been, there's a consistency there with the direction that things are flowing. You can tell that he is plummeting down. Problem is that from the top half it looks like he meant to plummet down, and the second half, like the bottom half, it looks like he didn't mean to plummet down. Actually, he's just falling over. It's a weird contrast that my eye line gets like, as I look at the model, it's like, okay, great, okay, no, don't like that. There's a weird difference there that makes it not work as a whole. Like, it just looks a bit awkward as a whole because the bottom is just not seemingly on the same wavelength as the top of the model, which is a weird issue to have, which, as I say, I really hope that it's just down to the angle from which it's been photographed. The only other issue I have with this model, and this is super nitpicky, right? This is absolutely... before we even get to this, I just want to point out, right, the wings, I absolutely love the wings. They look incredible. I really like the wings. They are so well done. They're so nicely proportioned. They, like, the sculpting, the detail, really, really nice. I think they've done an absolutely stunning job with those. The sword looks absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of this is going to be down to the paint job, but the kind of the pelt of the leopard that he has, I can't remember why he's even got that. I don't know if I've ever read why he has a random leopard pelt, but whatever, he does, and it's on the model, and it's fine. It looks really good. It looks so well done. It looks really well done. Obviously, some of that might be down to the paint job, but I feel like the sculpting on that has been done really, really nicely. The hair, I do not like at all. I'm not a big fan of curly hair Sanguinius. There's quite a bit of artwork that depicts him having these kind of ring curls, which I'm really not a fan of. I don't like the way that looks in that artwork. But I have to say, I'm also not a big fan of the way it looks right now either, which is a shame because I think the detail on the face is really good. The hair looks a little bit jagged. It doesn't have the volume that I would want it to have. The hair looks sculpted instead of natural, which is a shame because the wings look natural. I don't know how else to put it. And there is an extra detail with the hair that just really throws me, and I really can't understand why no one picked up on this at some point. A laurel wreath goes over the hair. It doesn't go under the hair, it goes over it. In the artwork depicting Sanguinius, the laurel wreath goes over the hair. Now, unless he put that thing on whilst he was falling, there is no way that it would be sitting on his head the way it is, with his hair flapping about above him in the wind. It's only a small detail, but to be honest, when a model costs as much as Sanguinius is going to cost, when it's part of what is, let's face it, a collector's edition item, it's a collector's thing, it's not just a tabletop thing, it is a collector's item. Little details like that, like the gravity-defying, physics-ignoring laurel wreath that has either been stapled to his head or attached to his armour. It's only a small detail, it's only a small thing, it's very nitpicky to realise it, and even more nitpicky to point it out, but it looks weird. It just looks weird because that's not how that works, and there are so many different pictures of Sanguinius showing how it does work, that as soon as I looked at it and went, oh, I'm not really sure about the hair. Wait, why the fuck is the laurel wreath still on? How does that even work? How has his hair kind of transported itself under the wreath, through it, and then up without displacing it at all? What's going to happen when he lands? It's going to look like he's got a weird headband on. He's going to look like a girl at the gym is what's going to happen when he lands. It's just a weird oversight that kind of, I don't know, it breaks the head up a bit and it makes it look a bit off. And it's a shame because I actually think that, just the expression is good. The expression on the face is really good. There's a lot of emotion in there. And then you go up and the hair's a little bit disappointing, and then it's got this weird wreath that shouldn't be there. And I don't know, it's a shame because the rest of it I actually really like. The pose is a bit off. I'm hoping that the photography angle will change that. But there's just that weird kind of oversight, that weird detail that is there but shouldn't be in a way. As I say, things like the wings are so well done. The sword is so well done. The leopard pelt is so well done. The head on the leopard is really nicely done as well. The consistency in terms of, things flying back and billowing back as he's plunging down, all really good parts of this model. But the legs just aren't there for me, and the head has just got that one thing that shouldn't be there, that's just bugging me a little bit. I think that's probably the most nitpicking I've done on a model for ages and ages. It's a shame because I've been looking forward to Sanguinius, and there's just a couple of things in there that don't ruin it for me. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a ruined thing. I don't think it's a completely unsalvageable, what a mess they've made of this. If I'm honest, Lehman Russ is kind of up there for me in terms of this is not salvageable, but only because of the way he posed him, and it's so difficult to undo stuff like that without significant cutting and sawing and hacking. It's another instance of a pose that just doesn't quite work, in my opinion. The thing is, for an example of a pose that does, I actually quite like Korax's pose. I didn't like it when it first came out, but the more I look at it, the more I'm feeling it, the more I think they've done a good job with that. This kind of is not quite there. It's just not got the kind of dynamic look that I think they were going for. Anyway, that's the new Sanguinius model. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. How nitpicky am I being out of a scale of 1 to 10? I'm assuming it's 100 out of 10. Is there anything about it that you don't like, or do you think it's pretty much perfect, or do you have the same thing as me, where it just doesn't look quite right? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click any of the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all of that shit. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.